Too much fun, this. Too much fun. Too much fun. For the sake of repeating myself, King George V. I should be doing a fucking talk at King George V. It's so fucking funny. How under the radar am I? How under? Does anyone else relate to this? How under the radar are you? How underappreciated are you? You're kind of like a. You're just walking right through the old cracks, and you're looking around you, going, "What the fuck is going on here?" You get what I mean? Like, that's the way I feel. But I should be doing a talk at the King George V. I should be coaching the kids. But the point is, like I've said, right, I've already coached them by doing it, you see. They all saw it. They had the best seat in the house. The thing is, maybe it was too good. So they were kind of in denial as to what they saw. They're like, did I really fucking see that? That was fucking amazing. Sublime. Sublime or subliminal, you know? Kind of like, it's either sublime or subliminal. Either whack them between the eyes and they're like, I can eat up my game, fucking hell, look at the effort he was putting in. But in a sense, he wasn't trying as well, all at the same time. You know? So maybe the kind of like subliminals, you got to tune in, you know? So did they, maybe they were too focused on what they were doing to even notice what had happened, you know? And I think that speaks to what I'm talking about, being under the radar. You're like, I went to the stove this morning, I'm going, kind of went in there and went up to Grant and said, oh, how's it going? Just, you know, and I was like, aye, any tips, what's the, you know, and he's like, I start off with it, you know, just talking about the disciplines and the, you know, again, talking shop, and he was like, I just start with the most difficult thing. In other words, you know, it's kind of what you do, innit? You get up and you do the hard tasks, and then you reward yourself with a wee, you know, it's all about discipline, innit? Focus, really, at the end of the day. But I was thinking, there's just, I saw that they were advertising on, I didn't really diss anything, but being critical is alright if it's constructive criticism. Alex is like a bit of an oracle with things, right? But he doesn't get it 100% right. But I go, to what extent is he being negative here? But then you go, oh, just consider what he's saying. He was saying that, oh, it was a bit cliquey. I mean, the thing is, it's like the discussion Alex and I were having, right, about all this creative scene, right? The whole point about art is there is no borders, there is no authority. Someone is supposed to enable, you know. So you cannot. It's kind of like that Deadmau5 song with that did YT Crack or whatever he's called, right? Hack the Planet. That's kind of what it is, isn't it? Hack the Planet, right? Who are these people who don't need to get, you know, gatekeepers? I've already talked about all this stuff. Gatekeepers, right? So. I think the word that we should, you know, if I would add a word on the wall at the stove. See, they've got all the, they say all the right things in a sense. They've got all these like quotes and things that looks all very arty farty and very free and funky. Oh, this is the wee Oasis, isn't it? And Dumfries Oasis, that's a good word, isn't it? This is the little bit where we go and express ourselves. But the thing is, if it's too controlled, like you should, for example, you shouldn't have to turn up to an event, right? They need to up their game. If this is the case, right? If some of these events are, you need to get permission to do something. That's a bit anti-art, is it? No, surely it should be turn up. Anyone does whatever they want. There is no rules. That's the whole fucking point. So, you know, there was a thing I saw advertised, it was like 18 and under, right? 18 and under. Which is cool, it's all about the youth, right? But what about the old fucks like me? Do you know, I could teach them a few. So do I need to get permission from someone to do what I'm doing? Why is there not an open mic? Anything goes, turn up and fucking do it. Because apparently, I'm not being negative, but apparently that's what Alex said. I don't know what the state of play is, right? This is what I mean about bypassing that shit. It's like, I'll fucking do a show at Theatre Royal. Stop talking about it, Dave, okay. But you know, you turn up at the thing and you go, alright, you bump into this person, that person, you have a nice wee arty-farty, funky wee talk and whatever, but I'm not going to turn up to some event and have someone censor me. It's like, if I'm just too much for you, maybe you're just not enough. You know what I mean? So I was just fantasising about kind of rehearsing in my head the wee show we do. It's just too fucking easy because it's just too much stuff. That's the difficulty as well, isn't it? Too much awesome shit. It's kind of like doing a show reel. There's too much fucking awesome shit, right? So how do you want how many different iterations do you want? 50? How do you boil it down? How do you put the best shit in? It's kind of like that with the shows. Too much stuff, right? In that vein, right? So, but a little update. I was gonna go in there, right? And I was gonna go, and this is a joke as well. Rehearsal, as if I need to. That's the whole joke about it. I need to rehearse it, but rehearse what I say when I get in. I'm joking about that because I just walk in and say, "Aye, who's the person that organises the events?" Just go and meet people in person, you know, none of this over the phone. And I might recognise a few faces, but I wonder who's organising it. I'll go in and go, aye, who organises the shows? Oh, hi, I'm thinking, how much does it cost to book the place? What it is, I want to put on a show. What sort of thing you do? See, there's nothing. Am I going to be private? I just feel like everywhere you go, there's like doors closed on you. Everywhere you go, can't do that. That's the whole point. My content is all about boom, do it, without even thinking about it. So I'd go in there and be like, I want to put on this show, right? Who the fuck are you? The greatest YouTuber in history, Dumfries Ken, one of the best athletes in Scotland. Is that alright for you? Top 1% of glutes. Do you want to see my ass, baby? You know, that's got to be the type of show. It's got to be edgy, right? Edgy. You know, so it's got to be that. It's got to be. I think it would be 2 hours long, right? And that would be scratch the surface. It would fly by, and it'd be like, fucking hell, that should be 4 hours long. Yeah, kind of like, it should be 3 hours long. When I've been to theatre things before, and they harm to them, but I was a bit kind of, didn't really engage me, you know. It was a bit self-indulgence, like get to the point. You know, I think that one of the strengths, the whole thing is draped in strength, isn't it? the reason, you know, getting off on a tangent here, but part of the reason why I didn't sit down and write it is because I get too excited and I wouldn't be able to handle it. I start shaking, start getting all goosebumps and getting all excited and nervous just thinking about it, because the energy would just, fucking hell, this is just too much, can't handle this. So maybe, you know, but of course you can't just turn up when they rehearsal and bust it out. You know, you got to think that, you know, they've paid 5-10 quid or whatever. I think they should be paying 20 quid, you know. I think 20, I wonder how much Mark Beaumont charged. £7.50, 10 quid, 12.50, whatever it was. I should be charging equally the amount or more. Ken, all my fucking stories and all the adventuring and everything, and the greatest motivational content you've ever seen in the history. I'll just say that a million times. It's really quite cool, because that's my area of strength, you know. It's just, it'd be full of kind of, if I can just quote and I wouldn't be saying if I can just quote myself. I'd be saying if I could just quote Michelangelo. All the wee things in the moment, it would be rehearsed, but it'd be loose. It'd look kind of like a Frank Zappa show, where it's like we do the thing, we have it rehearsed to fuck, right? That's what Frank Zappa did. They rehearsed it till it was coming out the pores, and then in the moment he would just like mix it up, and he'd point and say, right, change, do that, and then we'd go off on a tangent. And that's a bit like me, emulate the greats. So we have it all rehearsed down, just like I've done that rap tune, right? And I've done it about 200 times, so I think it's like ingrained, so when it comes out, it'll be so, you know, the delivery will just flow out of me. And that's, I think that's the key in it. And all the different elements that you thread together. I would have to have, even this thing, even you see folk like Sting or whatever, right? Even he, right, as talented as he is, right? He's got a little screen with a, what do you call it? The auto cue, right? Even he's got that with the words, in case he forgets the words. A screen with actually a screen, not just written down, but the screen with the words all rolling and timing the music in case he forgets the words, right? So I think that's no bad with it. The thing is, I've practiced up stuff off the top of my head, like I'm doing now, right? Which I could go into some of the things I've rehearsed, right? Some of the skits I've done, but so you go, how much does that free up? It'd actually be easy. It'd be like just be like, let it all go. It'd be so fucking easy, because like, you have the, I think what I would have is bullet points. I think that's what I'm trying to say about the what Zappa did, right? He had the set list, but he would go off when so it'd be tight but loose. See what I mean? The whole show would be full of contradictions. It'd be tight because it's all heavily rehearsed. There's a dynamics in it. There's a flow and there's a point, and then you get to, the more I wrote it though, I'd be like, oh fucking hell. Like Drew was talking about creative, artistic control. It's all very well for something to be free, but you need, I think, writing it. What's her name at uni used to say when she was writing things, she'd come up with a title after it was done, and that's a pretty obvious one. Like it writes itself in a sense, and you come up with something new that you didn't discover. I think that's what it would be in the process of writing a thing. It would come up with something new that didn't actually, you know, because I've got an idea of it now, but as I've discovered with a lot of other stuff I've done, right, there's simple things a lot of the time what I'm doing, but I've come up with my own version of this, and it writes itself while you're doing it. You have a little wee light bulb, so, you know, and then what I was thinking this morning, right, ken who you are, right, ken how you could blow me out the water with your rapping, right, you could come up and do a guest spot. Do you want to do one? Right, I'll buy a pint, right, do a kind of, no a rap battle, just a standalone, come up and do a, kind of like when YT Cracker went up and did a rap song and Deadmau5 show, and just a guest thing. That's what I should do. I should do the show and have a few guest folk, quality folk, come up and lift the level a bit, you know, just whatever, something, so you could play with it so much. It's quite interesting. The problem is the energy would be too high. After it, folk would be pounded over the head so hard they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. It'd be changed forever. I think that's the point of an artist, isn't it? Fucking change somebody in some way that they leave the thing different than when they started, you know. I think what I'm gonna do is what folk need. Somebody in the audience would be like, I fucking needed that. Where have you been all my life, Dave? That was fucking brilliant. Look at what he did. He actually spoke a lot of things that needed to be said, rather than just some humdrum. Well, I'm not criticising everybody. I'm just saying, right, there's got to be some just raise the level. I think by the end of it, I'd be absolutely exhausted. I'd be a bit like what Alex said, is that you'd be exhausted but elated. I think that sums it up, you know. Okay, just ridiculous. I was just thinking about, like, off the top of my head, just fucking shitloads of ideas. And there's more ideas, but there's also, and it's a simple theme, but again, with it, when you sit down and write it, you go, that actually, you can take that to the next level. You come up with kind of genius wee things, you know. But like Prince Naz, right, used to, in Yemen, right, used to invite people to a stadium and watch them train, that kind of thing. So it's absolutely ridiculous, just loose as fuck, you know. You know, it would be like, you know, set up the bike and you have like lights and everything, smoke machine, and you're training, and you're like saying to the audience, oh, you've got the privilege of watching me train, how's that feel, you know? Yeah. You've got the privilege of seeing me, but obviously write more than that, wouldn't it be, you know? And then when you come up with all the dialogues and we thread it all together, you go, right, maybe it's taking some other shape, maybe it's coming up with some kind of, like I was saying to Alex, right, you're getting into character, it's real but it isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, part of what folk wouldn't know whether it was real or not, because they go, who the fuck are you? You see, so it's playing on that idea of we only look to certain We have a crick in our neck, hero worshipping folk. We'll see somebody on the telly, so we go, they're worthy of, this is credible. But if you're just like a, in inverted commas, nobody from Dumfries, it wouldn't be credible, would it? But joke's on them, because it's actually coming to me now. I'm not giving it away, but there's things coming to me about, you know, cool stuff. I think part of the strength comes through the fact that certain folk get it. Like some folk on the Facebook, when I'm talking, they didn't just do a fucking Gareth McIntyre and go, "Oh, you talking to yourself?" Now you know, anyone who's watching this are actually sitting there going, "Yeah, he is actually serious, this guy, you know. He isn't worthy of just like taking the piss out of." So, but you can, too many, why wouldn't it be fucking good, considering we're doing this full time? Like I say, overflowing with ideas. Oh, and look, see, the reason why I'm talking generally, I'm not getting into specifics, because you save that for the thing. I'm not letting out what I'm doing. I'm not going, because I've already given out way too much. It's, again, like I say, you thread the dialogues together, thread the ideas, and then you start going, oh, that starts to have depth, that starts to have literary quality with this and that, you know, quoting films and literature and just the culture, really, innit, you know, about as Jordan Peterson said, just like contradictions and, you know, between what this person says versus that, just, you know, but because it would be quite one-dimensional, wouldn't it, if it was just, if an entire thing was just like me, I'm brilliant, folk would get bored. So you need to insert, as Alex was saying, some kind of narrative. I think those are the best things that I've done before, but there's a bit of like conflict and resolve, you know, like the, what's his face that we studied at uni, but this is obvious, the 10 different kind of archetypical themes that you have in films. There's only so many, like the hero story, the kill the dragon, you know, Daniel and Lion's Den, but all these wee biblical references, it would just come to you, and you can thread all that through and just talk, you know, making yourself out to be a kind of, you know, kind of like some kind of heroic trailblazing, you know, saviour on a bike, you know, just exploring the cross, you know, loose as fuck, like I say, not only loose in terms of the writing of it, in terms of just the fluidity of just saying crazy shit that you're not allowed to say. That's the whole point. You say things that aren't, you know, Jesus on the bike, stuff like that, crazy things, spreading the cyclic gospel, you know, all that, but then loose in the moment, so you improvise. But as Buddy Rich said, you didn't just do the whole thing, and say, have it all scripted. That's boring. See, it's kind of like emulating folk like O'Brien. So when I saw O'Brien at the Langham Centre, right, and he was doing a talk, what I thought was fucking brilliant. I turned up at the thing, right, on my own, right, and I sat down there. I got the wrong seat, and I was having this weed. Well, that's my seat. No, they cared about having the exact seat number. You know. So I sat down there, right, and there was a woman sitting beside me who I got chatting to, and she was like, oh, I love him, I love this guy, he's so cool, you know. In other words, love you or hate you, someone actually appreciated this guy, you know. Was going, look at the way he talks, and when you watched him talk in person, it was absolutely mind-blowing, because the way he had lived, the number of the competitive stories he had. He would start a story, and then there would be so much in it, he couldn't possibly boil it down, so he'd be going off these tangents, he would get so excited like a wee boy. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, where it's scripted. He probably turned up at that thing with no script. That's the point, because he's a walking storyteller. He's got so much, because he's done the shit. It's a bit like me on a lesser level, but still, you know, it just comes at you. You go, as I say, you want to craft it a bit, but then you want to allow space to go and improvise if you're feeling it when it comes to an interaction, a wee bit of interaction as well, you know. But I think you couldn't go wrong like having sex with beautiful women, because the fucking screen taking the gold bits of some of the stuff. Don't you go, that's fucking lifted my level. I don't need to try. I'm already elevated by the, you know, the visuals and the sound coming through the thing, and setting the stages. I'm talking about going to the bank with it, doing the most crazy, making history. Like I said, Derek Sherinian, right, when we were watching Dream Theater back in the day, and it was like obviously a DVD of a concert, but they had behind the scenes stuff, and he was saying, oh, how you doing, or what are you doing, Derek? And he goes, making history, you know. It's kind of like that, innit? It's like, why the fuck why would you think to yourself that you weren't making history? I thought the whole idea of art and people and what they're doing and sport and art and everything is that you do better than you move things on. So it's like there's a space open for that. There's a space open for it, a vacant space, and I'm going to be the one to jump in and do it. And that's what athletic achievements are, isn't it? You do something that's never been done before. You push a new record that hasn't been achieved before. Well, I might not be world champion, but in terms of the level of stuff I've done in all different areas, I think it's worth celebrating. So it would be blast. There you go. And then, yeah, like I say, like I was joking to Alex before with that Gans, making personal history, or no, I didn't say personal, I said making history. But you kind of go, if you've, as George Carlin said, right, if you've completely come up with something that's never been done before, you kind of are making history. That's the way you've got to think of it. You've got to think of yourself like that. You can, it'd be fucking brilliant, you can. Because as I say, I'm not putting it down a black hole to be completely underappreciated. So anyway, we're back training, we're on the bike, and that's getting me going again, and get to work in it. It's kind of like Michael Lanzabete said, if you're working all the time, every minute of the day, and you're doing this full time, I think this shit writes itself. I would just be a fucking vessel sitting there and be going, oh, all this stuff's just kind of writing itself, and there's a higher level that's coming to me about this, you know. Just ken the writing chops and everything. So we'll start tonight and start writing it down, just like what I do all the time when I'm making my videos, right? We'll sit down. That's what I used to do. I would sit down. Most of the stuff's been bullshit, just splatting it out like a kid, but who cares? I think I've come up with I don't know, maybe 100 out of 1,000 videos that is quality, or it depends what you mean by that. But they're all, you know, 50 really quality ones and 10 that's good, or there's a grain of, not a grain, more than a grain, but there's something cool there to be explored, you know. So and then I was thinking, see, development of ideas, when you go, oh, I could do that, not only could I do that, fuck the live performance thing, why don't I actually craft a film? I actually just join all this shit. You could even do that. I'm talking about filming, getting cameras and filming something new. I'm talking about it's all in the edit, to quote my fucking self. You could just pluck, I've done this before, pluck a load of clips and join it all together and create a movie just out of all the clips I've got, and fucking hire it at the Robert Burns Centre and put on a fucking show and then do a talk after it. There you go, greatest motivational content you've ever seen. How'd you like that? David Goggins ain't got shit on me and that kind of, you know.